He held up a knife. It was the knife Mallory used to cut me. I used this to talk to her. Yeah, Jeff, we understood that with the first quip. You didn't need to, like, spell it out. Naomi wakes up from her nightmare to the sound of a scream. In real life, Jeff's perspective. I was in Mallory's cabin. I had killed all her friends. Okay, I guess we're doing this. I held the knife up. She looked up. Isn't that the knife I used to cut your friend open? Maybe don't remind him of that right now, Mallory. I laughed maniacally. Of course it is. Now I'm going to kill you with it. He really needs to work on, like, his witty comebacks. I stabbed her in the chest and whispered in her ear, go to sleep. I forgot. That's a Jeff the Killer thing. He says, go to sleep. And it's supposed to be clever? The cabin door slowly opened and a girl walked in and shined a light around the cabin. Whoever was in the cabin looked at Mallory's body and screamed, this can't be happening. It was Naomi. She dropped the flashlight. I really hope you didn't do this, Jeff. She's just saying that, like, to herself. But, like, it's kind of a resigned reaction to finding a cabin full of, like, 7 dead bodies of your peers. She just kind of throws her hands up like, better not have been Jeff. I'm going to have to ask him tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, this isn't an urgent matter. So Jeff just goes and takes a shower and then falls asleep. His roommate wakes him up. He walks around to the lake to find Naomi, and he sees her and she's singing to herself. You have a very nice voice, I said. She didn't look too happy to see me, and I was afraid I knew why. I think you might be right on that one. Naomi says, so, have you heard about what happened to Mallory and her cabin? No, what happened? She and her whole cabin were murdered last night. I acted surprised. Who would do something like that? Yeah, so the camp is having us leave early. They don't want anyone else dying. Naomi's phone rang, playing Kingdom Hearts. Hi, Mom. Camp is having us leave early. You know, no reason. Naomi looked at her phone and sighed. I wonder what could have caused this to happen to them, she said. Well, I said, sometimes people like that deserve to die. He's not playing his cards very well. I wonder if they will be serving lunch before we leave, I said. I don't think so. They want everyone out of the camp as soon as possible. Because of the killings, they are shutting this place down now. That was quick. I like how an entire cabin of campers were murdered by a killer who's still seemingly at large, and they're just allowing the kids to wander the grounds by themselves. They apparently hadn't called Naomi's mom yet. They were just like, camp's over, find your own way home, kids. No one even woke Jeff up this morning. His roommate had to do it, and his roommate didn't see fit to mention the murders. Back to Naomi's perspective, she wakes up in her room at home when I heard a window break. Then all I heard was a scream. I walked slowly into the room and heard someone singing what sounded like the song Awoken by Wooden Toaster and Hate Seed. It sounds like this highly specific song, but I'm not sure. It could be something else. She sees the dead bodies of her family and Jeff the Killer, but it's not the Jeff the Killer she knows. He has his scary white face and a blood-stained hoodie and black-rimmed eyes. Hello, Naomi. I hope you don't mind me barging in and killing your family. Fortunately, it was just another dream. Unfortunately, Naomi's last murder dream did come true immediately after. But her mom is here. She picks them up from camp. She's giving Jeff a ride home too, so that's really nice. And she gets them Arby's. I banged my head against the car window. Ouch! Jeff laughed. You laugh at people getting hurt too? How charming. Oh yeah, it's funny if I'm not the one getting hurt. He laughed more. I laugh at my mom all the time when she chokes. We both laughed. How often is your mom choking, Naomi? I wonder if this whole killing thing will be on the news, Mom said. It might. Big things like killings and stuff always end up on the news, I say. It's a very profound observation. So they exchange phone numbers and then they drop Jeff off at his house. But it turns out that Jeff's house is in the same neighborhood as Naomi's. Like, they're just neighbors. I don't know what the point was in having them go to camp to meet. It also turns out they go to the same school. Okay. For the record, every time Naomi eats in this story, we get to hear what it is. And she's eaten a lot for like this many pages. So she's home with her family and they make her spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread, in case you were curious. She exchanges some flirtatious texts with Jeff and then goes downstairs to join her family. I walked downstairs and sat on the couch and turned on the news. There has been a recent discovery of a cabin of girls found dead this morning at the camp known as Camp Ivy. I sat there intrigued by what I was hearing. Here we have Mallory's mother, a victim of this terrible crime. Firstly, it's getting too real. Yeah, I get that she was the mean, generic bully character, but this dead girl has a mother who loved her. Secondly, I like that on the news report her name is just Mallory. Everyone just has first names because this was written by a child. My sweet girl never had any enemies except for that one girl who lives next door to us. Oh no, Naomi. There was a knock at the front door. I walked and opened the front door to see a bunch of news cameras and flashing lights. Wait, so this was a live broadcast? And it was happening on her front lawn? See, just look at her. That's the face of a murderer. I heard Mallory's mom yell. A camera was pushed in my face. Tell us, did you kill the beauty queen Mallory? No, I didn't kill anyone. Yeah, sure, I hated that girl's guts, but you should know she's not as sweet and nice as you all think. Girl, just throwing this dead girl under the bus in front of her mom? Also not helping your case. I rolled up my sleeves on my shirt and rolled my shirt up to the side. Oh, okay, so she's like hitching it up. And, okay, these cuts are proof that Mallory isn't the sweet and innocent girl you think she is. She nearly killed me with her pink sparkly knife. Her knife was pink. Also, in defense of the news crew, I thought it was super invasive that they just rolled up to her house, but like, they've yielded a pretty juicy story from this. So, the cameras turn to Mallory's mother. Is this true? Did your daughter have a pink sparkly knife? She did, yes, but wait a second. Mallory's mom knew about the knife? You heard it here, folks. The beauty queen Mallory was really a monster in disguise. Wow, it's easy to rally these news people to your side. I walked back into the house and slammed the front door shut. Stupid reporters. This is why I don't watch the news. You were just watching the news. That's how you knew. Never mind. Okay, so she pretty much won that confrontation. I like how much of a horrible wish fulfillment this is, that the clearly in the wrong preppy bully girl who likes to wear pink was murdered. And then also Naomi got to slander her name after her death to her own mother. Naomi, go take a bath and head for bed, my mom called from her room. That she, I guess, didn't leave the entire time that like 10 different news stations were on her front lawn shouting that her daughter was a murderer. Okay, we are back to Jeff's perspective, and it's the next day and it's time for school. And I guess he has a little brother named Lou. Hey guys, I turned around to see Naomi standing there holding a skateboard. Hey, you ride a skateboard? I asked. She probably does, yeah. 3 guys jumped over the fence on skateboards. One of them was skinny as a twig, one was huge, and the other was just normal size and had on a hat. Wow, it's like I'm there. These descriptions just leap off the page. I'm Randy. That's Troy. Randy pointed to the fat kid. And he's Keith. He pointed to the skinny kid. There's a little bus fee for new kids around here, if you know what I mean. So you can give us your money willingly, or we can beat it out of you, Keith said. It's hard to tell, but I think these guys might be the bullies. It looks like we'll have to do this the hard way, Randy said. Keith and Troy pulled knives out. All these kids have knives. I got that strange feeling again as Troy came at me with the knife. Danger. But where? Is this sixth sense just the ability to sense that you're about to be cut with knives? I rolled out of the way and picked up the knife Troy had dropped and stabbed him in the arms and legs. Okay, so Jeff manages to fight off the bullies and the 3 of them run back to Jeff's house. This is super important. While they're hiding in the house, they order a pizza and breadsticks. Just in case you were wondering what they ate. Jeff also starts calling Naomi Nao? I think it's pronounced that way, like mayo. Jeff goes to retrieve the pizza and walks back to his room to the sound of singing. Wow, how long have you been sitting there? Naomi looked really surprised. I've been here through half the song, I said, and smiled. You have a great voice. Could you close your eyes for me, I asked. Is he gonna say go to sleep? I sighed. I have to do it sometime today, I thought. I leaned my head in and kissed her on the lips. The passion. Jeff and Naomi both say I like you to each other. It's getting pretty serious. Naomi gets a call from her mom and says she has to go home and take care of something. I'm sure it's safe out there. Yeah, she's just nonchalantly gonna walk out the door, and then Jeff's like, do you want me to come with you? And she's like, yeah, okay, I guess. Just unafraid of the gang of weapon-wielding thugs outside. I stopped and turned around to come face to face with Randy. Okay, I know I just said it was dangerous to go outside, but like, if you're looking at it from a realistic perspective, it's also weird that Randy has still been outside this entire time. Like, was he just crouched in the bushes watching the pizza guy go up to the door? Like, they ordered a pizza. Naomi punches Randy, she breaks his nose, but Keith and Troy are there too, so they start chasing them. Naomi and Jeff start running to Naomi's house as fast as they can. I looked back. Geez, for a tub of lard, that kid Troy can run fast. These emo fantasy stories are always very holier than thou about how preps are the meanest and they're bullies and they call the main characters ugly, but they're not ugly. But then they'll write in a mean bully character who's like a fat kid. And then it's open season. You can say whatever you want about this fictional kid who you chose to make fat. Like, did they not see the double standard here? I mean, they could at least refer to him as Rubenesque. It's a lot less hurtful. Naomi's perspective. Dad, get your gun, I yelled. Why does her dad have a gun? I mean, I guess this town's like the Wild West. You gotta have a gun. My mom came running in. Naomi, what in the world is going on? Bullies were chasing us, so I thought I'd teach them a lesson and have Dad run them off with his gun. Your dad isn't here right now. He's on a trip. I like how that's the only flaw in this plan. Like, well, Naomi, I'd be all for it, but your father's not here right now. Well, shoot. Wait, I know. I ran and got my BB gun from the back door, pumped it a few times for extra power, and walked back to the front. Naomi has a gun too. This is just an idyllic upper middle class neighborhood where everybody's got a knife and a gun. So she shoots in the direction of the bullies and it scares them off and they run away. And then they're like, okay, time to go back to Jeff's house. His parents might be home soon. It's like, is there no one that can drive you? Can't you see that there's a strong correlation between walking from one house to the next and getting attacked by bullies with knives? We heard sirens and saw a cop car drive by, lights flashing. I wonder where they're headed in such a hurry, Jeff said. I shrugged and rounded the corner. I feel like we're about to get some bad news. Okay, so not what I expected. It turns out that the police went to Jeff's house to arrest Jeff, I guess. They heard about the encounter with the bullies this morning, how Jeff stabbed them in self-defense. And so they're here to arrest Jeff. But instead, Jeff's little brother took the fall and is now going to jail. I'm not confident they told us the age of Jeff's brother, but I thought he was like 11. Jeff tries to tell his mom that he was the one responsible, and she like doesn't believe him. Maybe she's like pretending that she doesn't believe him because his brother's younger and he'll get the lighter sentence. I mean, if you want to be that mercenary with the lives of your children, it does technically make more sense. So Jeff goes upstairs crying, and now this is like Naomi's awkward first encounter with her boyfriend's mom. Like, one of her sons just got taken away in handcuffs, and her other son is like crying in his room, and it's like, hi, I'm Naomi from school. I'm Mrs. Woods. She took my hand and shook it. Could you go comfort Jeff for me? I want him to be happy for the birthday party for Billy tomorrow. Who's Billy? Also, given the circumstances, asking to get him into like a birthday party kind of mood, sort of a tall order. We switch to Jeff's point of view, and Naomi kisses him and he kisses her, and that does actually cheer him up. It works pretty good. I have to go back home now. My mom wants me rested for this kid's party tomorrow, I said. You're going to that too? Naomi asked. Okay, wait a second. 2 questions. Firstly, I guess it's not a question, but Naomi knows he's going because his mom told him that. Second, I guess also not a question, but he just said he had to go home, and they're at his house in his room. Yeah, I said, when we moved here the day before camp, convenient. The kid's mom came over and asked if we could come. Naomi said, the little guy thinks I'm his sister or something because I always babysit for them. Okay, and then Naomi walks outside to go home, which, again, apparently, yeah, Naomi was the one that had to go home. That was just a straight up typo or logical inconsistency, which I wouldn't have expected from this novel. Also, you gotta love that he's allowing his girlfriend to walk home alone in the dark, given the events of the day. Chapter 5, Naomi's perspective. I guess she did get home safely because it says, I sat in the bathtub and messed with some bubbles and sang Welcome to the Show, a song from the movie Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks. I love that movie. I love that song. I will never judge Naomi's taste in music again. She is daydreaming while she's in the bath that she's in a ballroom with Jeff and he's in a suit. Would you like to dance with me? He asked and smiled. I took his hand. I'm not a good dancer, just so you know. I bet your dancing is as good as your singing. That could be a really skilled, veiled insult. The next morning, my mom came upstairs and put a box on the ground. What's in the box? I asked and opened it. I bought it for you to wear to the party. I pulled out a red dress and gasped. Thanks, Mom, I said. I put on the dress with my black boots and headed downstairs. The descriptions are so detailed. Again, it's really like I'm there. Isn't this maybe an inappropriate outfit for the birthday party of a little kid she babysits for? I walked out and down the street 3 houses to the gray bricked house with balloons. I walked into the backyard and saw a ton of little kids, ages 5 to about 8. It's a good thing she dressed to impress. Jeff was dressed in his white hoodie and black dress pants. I giggled. What's so funny? He asked. Oh, what you're wearing. It's your usual hoodie and black dress pants. I didn't want to wear anything fancy, he said. Why is he even wearing dress pants? Are they going to hop in the bounce house in their formal attire? Oh, snap. Billy, get your friends in the house now. Billy ran in the house with everyone else. Randy and his duo of friends jumped the fence. It's payback time, Randy said. Jeff's point of view. We're here for your little boyfriend, Randy said. Randy came at me first and tackled me through the glass door, shattering it. He punched me in the jaw and threw me off of him. I staggered back and fell. I looked over and saw Keith and Troy with guns, preventing the grown-ups from helping, or from calling 911, evidently. When did the bullies get guns? How does everyone just have weapons? I picked a piece of glass off the ground. It cut into my hand, but I didn't care. Good thing you weren't slicing lemons and limes, or that would really hurt. I threw my body at Randy, knocking him over and slitting his throat with the glass, stabbing him repeatedly. Happy birthday, Billy. Randy cracked a bottle of vodka over my head before he fell. Why was there vodka at an 8-year-old's daytime birthday party in his backyard? The liquid dripped over my body. Keith dropped the gun. You're in so much trouble now, boy. I ran up the stairs and into the bathroom. I like that this is a full, action movie fight. They're knocking through windows, running through the house, picking up props to hit each other with. I understand that the adults are being threatened by guns, but honestly, no one has intervened at this point. Keith tackled me into the shower curtain and it fell. I grabbed the rod and hit him over the head. I stepped out of the shower and he punched me. I hit the medicine cabinet and a bottle of bleach fell over and opened on top of me. It burned a little, but I didn't care. Keith laughed. He threw a lighter in my face, lighting my whole body on fire. This time it really did hurt. Yeah. Jeff! I looked over to see Naomi in the doorway. Then I blacked out. I woke up to hear the beeping of a heart monitor. Oh good, okay, he's already at the hospital. Well, it was a quick escalation, but it's all better now. I heard a woman's voice. Where am I asked. You are in the hospital. You suffered severe burns, she said. Her bedside manner leaves something to be desired. Okay, so Naomi and Lou and his mom are all there. I guess Lou got out of jail. All right, Jeff, it's time for those bandages to come off. I forgot, he's wrapped up like in that episode of The Twilight Zone. His whole face is in bandages, so he doesn't know what he looks like yet, neither does anyone else. There's gonna be like some horrifying reveal of his scary face that probably looks like that picture of Jeff the Killer. I blinked a couple of times to adjust to the lighting and gasped. I stared at my reflection. My skin was completely white and my hair had turned black. I like that this is like some campy old movie where they're doing like a face reveal to him. Like they're not going to take the bandages off and assess things a little. They're just like, okay, we're taking off your bandages. Here is your Victorian hand mirror to view yourself in horror when we look at your disfigured face. I stared at my reflection. My skin was